The buzzing city lights blurred as I stared out of the train window. My heart pounded against my chest and my hands were damp with sweat. I had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in my head. The meeting, the presentation, and the stares. What if I stumbled over my words? What if they thought I was incompetent? What if I wasn't enough? I had lived with these thoughts for as long as I could remember. At first, I brushed them off, calling myself a worrier. But as the years passed, the constant restlessness, the sleepless nights, and the gnawing fear of the unknown consumed me. It was as if I were trapped in a storm that never passed, yet no one seemed to notice. I wore my smile like armor, pushing through my days, afraid of judgment. Society often viewed anxiety as something to be overcome with willpower. I had overheard phrases like, "Just relax," "You're overthinking," and "Everyone gets anxious." The stigma weighed me down, making me hesitant to speak up, to admit that I needed help. Then, one evening, as I scrolled mindlessly through my phone, I came across an article about generalized anxiety disorder. The symptoms mirrored my own experience: excessive worry, irrational fears, an overwhelming sense of dread. It was a revelation that I wasn't alone, and most importantly, this wasn't just me being weak. Encouraged, I decided to see a therapist. The first session was daunting. My voice trembled as I spoke, but the therapist's reassuring presence made me feel safe. For the first time, I allowed myself to be vulnerable. Therapy became a lifeline. I learned grounding techniques, how to reframe my thoughts, and most importantly, that seeking help was not a sign of failure, but of strength. My journey was not linear. There were setbacks, difficult days, but understanding GAD and learning how to manage it changed my life. I wished more people understood that mental health is just as important as physical health. The stigma around anxiety disorders prevented so many from getting the help they needed, and I wanted to change that narrative. One day, I found myself speaking openly about my experiences at a work event. The room was silent, but I saw nods, understanding in the eyes of my colleagues. Later, a coworker approached me, whispering a thank you with teary eyes. In that moment, I realized the importance of sharing my story because acknowledging the struggle, seeking help, and fostering understanding could save lives. Generalized anxiety disorder wasn't a weakness. It was a challenge that many faced, and together, by breaking the stigma, supporting one another, and encouraging professional help, we could create a world where no one had to battle it alone.